Welcome to PBS Media Shift's Digital Media Brief, brought to you by NextSpace and NextKids Co-working and Childcare in San Francisco. I'm Mark Glazer, Executive Editor of PBS Media Shift, with guests Carmel D'Amicis from GigaOM, Yori Ko from Wall Street Journal, Alex Leo from Yahoo, and Andrew Lee at American University. Twitter recently announced mixed earnings with less new users than expected, but a 97% growth in revenues. Is Twitter's business outshining its ability to drive traffic? Atlantic's Derek Thompson complained about a paltry 1.7% click-through rate on his most popular tweets. Alex, does Twitter have a problem driving traffic to stories?
I think it's curious that we all expect it to. Twitter is a stream of information, and it's sort of self-contained. In terms of a click-through rate, it doesn't have a great one. It does have a great reach to influencers, which journalists always want to reach and create conversation around. So while his click-through rate might be 1.7, his engagement rate, I would guess, would be much higher than that. Twitter has some product work to do to make sure that people can save and read stories at different times while maintaining their presence in the stream.
And Andrew, how can journalists and media people get the most out of using Twitter?
So I encourage journalists and journalism students to, not necessarily just retweet or to send out links to stories, but to actually do some value add on top of it. If you view Facebook as a very well-curated, well-engineered product, it's something that the Facebook folks control completely in terms of experience. Twitter is much more kind of this organic, unsweetened product that you need to add more to make sure it has resonance. So I'm always adding more value to the tweets and trying to bring more to the headlines than what you see on the normal story, and to make experts of themselves on Twitter.
And Carmel, what was some of the good and bad out of the recent earnings report by Twitter?
Sure. I think you kind of briefly covered the overview, but Twitter's revenue was much better than Wall Street expected, and as a result, the stock rose in after-hours trading. Investors felt pretty positively about the fact that revenue beat the estimates, but at the same time, user growth was slow. It's, the upteenth quarter that this has happened, and people are really starting to wonder whether or not Twitter is going to be able to grow and become as big as Facebook. It's looking unlikely at this point.
And Yori, what do you think about the deal where Twitter is going to be serving ads outside of Twitter? Could this be a game changer for its ad revenue growth?
I think it remains to be seen. They only signed up 2 publishers so far, so we'll see how many more they can get signed on. Apparently, ESPN has said no thus far, and they're a big user of Twitter's syndication stream, and one of the prime examples that they often like to cite as an example of where Twitter content is served outside of Twitter and gets a lot of non-Twitter users to see it. So I think that's it could be an issue. Plus, they're going to share the revenue with the publishers. Also, a lot of these these syndicated streams aren't going to be the primary real estate on these publisher sites. There's a lot of other things to see on these sites. So, are the eyeballs that are going to see these ads as valuable as the eyeballs that see the Twitter ads on Twitter? Are they paying attention as much to those ads as they are on Twitter itself? That said, marketers love every opportunity to reach consumers, so especially if they can use the same content and the same creative over again without having to go back to the drawing board. So if they can repurpose that content and serve it on Twitter streams outside of Twitter, then I think, and from what I'm hearing, they like that idea. But again, a lot of questions still up in the air.
For sure. Well, thanks for joining us for the Digital Media Brief from PBS Media Shift, brought to you by NextSpace and NextKids. Learn more about their pioneering program combining co-working and childcare at nextspace.us/nextkids. We'll catch you next week.